America has become so soft, it's actually a problem.
Ladies and gentlemen, Piers Morgan and Dana White get into the cage to have an interview, and it's actually quite interesting, apparently. We've gotten some clips thrown to us, and we want to react today. You guys excited?
The first time that people have ever been in the cage without actually being in person.
Yeah, it's like a intellectual cage of sorts.
Viking, why do you pull on your mustache like you're trying
I'm
to make
twisting it out of my nostrils.
Are you trying to be like the Monopoly man or something?
No.
Is that handlebar mustache?
No, I just want it out of my nose.
No.
I really want to see Dana call Pierce mushy. He looks like a potato when next to Dana like that.
Dana White had a really, really tough upbringing, by the way, and his parents' relationship with his parents was absolutely insane. And he talks about that earlier in the interview. If you guys want to watch the whole thing, we'll link it in the comments below. But we're just going to react to a certain clip that's been sent to us by our ghost producers.
Ghost producers. Here we go.
Here we go.
What I really like about you, Dana, and your story is that it's a story of resilience, of determination, of getting yourself back on your feet when you've been knocked down, all the kind of Rocky Balboa things that he says in that infamous speech, or famous speech, to his son, who's being a spoiled brat, and he finally has it out with him in the street. I've seen you say that you think America, and probably the wider world actually, has gone soft, and I agree. Ooh. I think it has gone soft. I think we've become a world where virtue signaling is more important than reality, where facts no longer matter. You can all pretend to be whatever you want, and everyone has to go along with it, where everyone's offended by absolutely everything. How have we got to this place, and what's the way out of this kind of woke hell that we're having to endure?
Yeah, no, that's absolutely how I feel. And I can't speak for the rest of the world because I didn't grow up in any of these other places, but I can definitely speak on America. America has become so soft, it's actually, it's a problem. And I tell kids all the time, if you even have this much savage in you, everything out there right now is for the taking. There was a point in time in the United States where you would look at different businesses and say, God, it's almost impossible to break into this business because it's been so established. And even the companies, all these companies that are so soft right now, everything out there is for the taking. If you have even this much savage in you, if you are willing to go out there and grind and work hard, you got these people that don't want to go to work. They want to stay home and work from home and all that. And believe me, I've seen this when I've spoke before. I see it pop up in the comments, all these people saying, you're wrong. No, things can be done from home. No, it can't. You have to be in the building with like-minded people. You know how much stuff that I have on my agenda every day that needs to be done, but other things that pop up in the office, and you get a bunch of smart, hardworking people in a room together, and you go on a completely different, you have to have people in the office working every day. And these people that don't want to, stay home, man. Stay home and do your thing. Good luck to you. I wish you all the luck in the world. There's going to be a small group of hungry savages out there that are going to run every one of you over. And you can sit home and you can cry and complain about how you didn't get yours, and it's because this person had this opportunity that you didn't have. It's all crybaby stuff that's going on in the whole world, like you said, but more so in the United States like I've never seen before.
Because there's two things he talked about in terms of you only need to have this much savage in you.
I love that.
Statistically, I think it's only 23% of all men in the West would classify as fit.
Yeah, the other 67% are obese.
But if you think about it, bro, there is hundreds of millions of us in the West.
Gosh.
So
as well as a man, if you can look down and you can't see your feet, I think it's 60% of men can't even see their own feet.
Yeah, dude, it doesn't take much anymore to stand out, to have a strong, disciplined mind, and just beat everyone else out.
I agree. I think what happened as the result of the pandemic is everybody got comfortable working at home, but that bred contempt and isolation. So now everything's opened back up. everything's for the taking.
Yeah.
Because the way people are working is changing. They think, oh, we just want to cater to and pander to our employees and just let them do whatever they want. That's not leadership. And Dana did this. He took the UFC that he bought for $2 million and now worth $12 billion.
Gosh,
That's
dude.
wild.
As an organization, he worked his tail off. He was attacked by the mafia in New York, in Boston. They basically ran him out of the city. He flew to Las Vegas and bought the UFC with 2 investors.
I did not
Jeez.
know all that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that either.
Yeah,
That's fascinating. And I think he's also talking about the mentality of being at home, not in terms of you being your own boss and you just have a job that can be online. Like most salespeople now are online.
Yeah.
I think he's talking about that mentality of comfort, that mentality of choosing to do that and not going after things and being successful, because being in an environment, he's talking about being in an environment where people are going after the same goals. I mean, we're not at home right now, but I do a lot of my work from home, right? It's because my job as a video editor allows me to do that. But I think he's saying if you have the option to go and be around other people, you need that. And I don't want people to construe that, because people can think, oh, so you're saying working remotely is, just it means you're not going after things. He's not saying that. He's saying that with the pandemic and everything, now people want comfort. They don't want to do the difficult things. They don't want to get that savage that a lot of people had has been put and made more dormant.
We're not designed to work alone.
Exactly.
We're designed to work in units.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's why the Navy SEALs are so powerful.
Yeah.
They work in units. Everything they do has to be together. And if one person screws up, they could all die.
Yeah.
And that's why they test them and throw them in water and try to drown them basically in training. And that's what Dana did with the UFC. He said, there's an opportunity here to disrupt a lot of other traditional fighting, like boxing, for example. He said, even Joe Rogan was interviewed and he said boxing in and of itself is not as tough and manly as the UFC, because you have 2 people in a ring and they're just using their hands in boxing. In UFC, it's a full body contact sport with the gloves are about 75% smaller than those of boxing gloves.
Yeah.
So you get punched in the UFC, you get punched.
Well,
You feel
it's
it.
kind of like a funny example. Do you remember when McGregor fought Mayweather?
I shook his hand, I embraced him, I gave him a little cuddle, I told him everything's going to be A-okay.
Yeah.
Every time they would, hug each other, McGregor's trying to beat him on top of his head. He's like, and then the ref is like, "Hey, back away."
Yeah.
You can't
do that.
Yeah, you can't
so
be aggressive.
it's that powerful animal inside of you wants to come out and be aggressive. But in the U.S. specifically, because that's where we're from, so we can't speak about the entire world, men are being pacifized. If that's even
Pacifized?
Pacifized.
You mean pacified?
Pacified.
Okay.
Men are being pacified.
Words today, David.
Bro.
Use your words.
Wow.
Only use a bad word when no good word will do.
No, don't get me on that. Oh my gosh, Daniel Tiger. They're becoming more passive because we have to now be so careful about how everybody feels. You can't say what you want because it's going to upset
It'll lower
somebody.
your ESG score.
It'll lower your ESG score. You're not allowed to speak as a strong person anymore and even share your opinions, because we have to worry about what everybody thinks. Oh, if you say something, someone's going to call up your job and say, hey, they were being misogynistic, even though that wasn't the intent.
Nothing was handed to Dana White.
Nothing.
He grew up.
I'm tired of that.
He was
that
very
handout
poor
mentality,
growing up.
Man. I hate it.
He had a horrible relationship with his parents. He grew up in extreme poverty, but he did not let that change the trajectory of his life. He enabled pain and suffering and said, I'm going to embrace this.
Yeah.
Regardless of how I feel, I don't live by my feelings. And so many men are living by their feelings instead of living by, you just have to be a man, stand up and do the right thing. And that might mean you have to suffer. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want men to become strong again. And again, taking that small amount of savage, kind of like what they say, if you have the faith of a mustard seed, if you have the savage of a mustard seed, then all you have to do is be around other people that are going to bring out that savage inside of you.
Yeah.
And that's what he's talking about, is you have to be in a group of people that are going after a goal in order to motivate each other. So if you do work from home, you still, because I do too. But you have to be around people.
But you're here with us.
But I'm here with these guys, and when we go to the gym, you better believe that savage is coming out. I'm not gonna allow it just to sit on the ground and just do the little bit that I can do to get by. You got to become an animal, bro.
We got to challenge each other.
Yeah.
There's also the aspect that it's so much harder to discipline yourself if you're in your home
It's
to
true.
work.
It takes a certain amount of self-discipline.
Yeah.
It's hard to wake up out of bed and just go to your office.
Yeah, walk 5 feet down the
Yeah,
hallway.
it doesn't require as much persistence and motivation to do that. You can become comfortable. You can start to cut corners. It's very easy for your mindset to start to go down because you don't have people around you challenging you.
But at the same time, if you're working from home, you have to be more disciplined.
It's a different kind of discipline.
So I know, like, one of our brother, a couple of my good buddies, shout out to you, Phil. He works from home and incredibly successful, right? So you can do it, but it takes a certain person to do that. But granted, they're still going out, they're still meeting with clients, they're still doing things. So it's not a knock on them, but you can't just do it because of comfort only.
Yeah.
That's when it gets dangerous.
Seek discomfort.
When you do that for comfort, when you choose to be home because it's more comfortable and, I don't want to have to be around people because I'm introverted and I hate people. No, if you don't want to be around people, it's going to be very difficult to be successful.
Yeah. The Navy SEALs say that when you get to, when you feel like you're at your wit's end of failure, you're only 30% of your
Goggins
actual
says
potential.
40%.
30 to 40% of your actual potential.
Yeah.
You're only at that. So you have 60% more to go. You just haven't created that mindset and that ability to push to that level because you give up before it's even over.
You really love the SEALs.
I love them. Oh, man.
But
they're like, what's a better representation of a strong man than a Navy SEAL?
Facts.
it's true.
I mean, think about it. If I could put a Navy SEAL up against anybody, it would probably be Army Rangers.
Yeah.
That's the only other unit in the military that had to go through as much suffering as Navy SEALs. They just did it in a different way because Navy SEAls are in the water. Army Rangers is more on land. But I mean, they go through the craziest, harshest conditions in the world in order to become that monster that everybody in the media is saying that you shouldn't be as a man.
Yeah, I learned how to shoot from a Ranger. They're pretty intense people.
Yeah. Yeah, they do not care about your feelings.
Nah.
That was cool. I love Dana White. Piers Morgan's becoming a little bit more conservative and based, I guess. I mean, we're not super political on the show, but I like his perspective, at least asking really good questions to allow Dana White to really open up and say what we wanted to. But guys, we appreciate you hopping on with us today. And, there's some more reaction videos down below. You can check out more clips here and some more clips right here. And we look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Make sure to like and subscribe.
Pierce, stop being so mushy.
It's time to become a savage. Peace.